Ludwig.
Here.
Plautner. Smith.
I'll turn it over to Mr. Mann.
Okay, thank you. Well, good evening. I think most everyone in here was here last month when we did our tax levy hearing and the proposed levy. And it's the same tonight as it was then. So there's no new information, but I will take a moment to review so that you'll have that information. You have a document, school board members, in front of you, which is the summary sheet, which I'll pull up here in just a moment. So just a few things I'd like to highlight moving through here to start with is that usually the last 3 or 4 years, we've had an opportunity from the Illinois State Board of Education to file an application for the property tax relief grant. And we always file that. A lot of schools south of I-80, very few have an opportunity to attain that. But what it does, it allows for a school district to at least form an application and let the State Board of Ed decide what school districts will in fact receive that. And even though we don't receive it, usually it's still something good to submit. It's about $777,000 approximately that we're asking for the grant to abate, and that would give us property tax relief, for our community. So I have not heard, they have received our application. I've not heard whether or not we will attain that or not, but I just wanted to let you know that that's something that is good practice for us. The second thing that I'd like to mention here tonight is that there's new legislation that says that at our property tax levy hearing that we need to share cash fund balances verbally, okay? At least in writing and verbally is considered best practice. So I will do that tonight. I've given Ms. Curry the numbers there, so she'll have those for her minutes a little bit later. So I'll just kind of run through the current cash balances so that you'll have that information. This is right off of our treasurer's report. So you have that in your board packet, and that's where I'm pulling these numbers from. And we do this every month. So for the education fund, again, this is a balance as of September 30th of 2022. Education fund is $5,986,413.44. In the O&M building fund, $88,362.25. The bond debt interest, $103,098.13. We have our big payments coming up for that here this month. Transportation, $109,115.96. IMRF, $236,223.63. The capital project as of September 30th was $957,622.25. That will end up being this next month once we make another payment on our capital project for the new junior high wing. Will be closer to probably around 150 to 160,000, just so you know, as we're paying our bills for that. Working cash, $141,020.84. The liability, that's our risk management, $4,469.84. And then we have the fire safety, $6,441.35. Okay, for a total of $7,632,767.69. Okay, so some of those balances, if they surprise you in any way, like right now, we always keep an eye on transportation, has to do with whether or not the payments have come in from the state or not most recently. So that's what we watch for, but the money is still flowing. All right, so we'll move away from that. We'll get into the levy here. And like I said, this is a review from last month. And a couple things that we need to keep in mind is that the two questions that are determined when you're filling out your tax levy for a school district, you want to make sure that you're capturing every dollar that is available to you as a school district to protect your district and provide the best educational opportunities that you can for your students. Okay, which we have some back here tonight. Welcome. Love those FFA jackets. Good to have you tonight. So that is our goal here. And so some different factors this year that are unique. We are not tax capped in Vermilion County. Even though the governor is pushing towards that throughout the state of Illinois, we're currently not in that situation. So when you're figuring out your levy, those are the two things that place you in two different lanes, whether you're tax capped or not tax capped, and we are not. So it allows us to ask for the monies that we feel that we need. One of the factors that plays in this year that's different is that this is the time, after 3 years of talking about it, we want to make sure with our levy that we were able to capture the dollars from the TIF 1 that is being moved over now to the district. And so that's money that we have not had available to us for over 20 years that now we can capture some of that, and that will help our local revenues. Okay. So tonight, the levy proposal that I have before you is the same as last month. It's 4.47, and that is our operating tax rate increase, which really is good news considering the fact with all of the inflation and things that we're dealing with. We feel like we can still take care of providing the best education for our kids with that particular increase. The proposed levy last year was 4.42. So again, everything is under the nickel levy, which means that we do not have to do truth and taxation. Okay. All right. Let's kind of move along here a little bit. All right. So one of the things when I talk about the TIF, I wanted to kind of show you, I think Mr. Plotner made a good point last month in terms of explanation that I thought I would use tonight. This is back when we did our budget in August. You probably remember that particular chart here. And I think the thing to remember is that this is our local assessment. That's what we receive in property taxes. That's the federal breakdown of the pie, the state breakdown, which is about half, and then this is about how much. It's around 35% that we're asking for that we get to help us pay our bills and provide education for our kids. The difference with the TIF is that we're just going to get a little bit bigger piece of the pie that we've not gotten in the last couple of decades. Okay. So what's that amount going to be? We're not exactly sure. We're projecting it's going to be anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000 in general, but a lot of it will be determined by the type of income and things that come in from some of our municipality and businesses outside on the edge of town. But I think that's the big thing. So nothing is changing. It's just a matter of we're getting a little bit bigger piece than what we've been able to receive in past years. So that's why this is a unique year in terms of our levy. Okay. All right, moving on here. I'm going to jump into a different document here, which is the one that you have before you. And I'll make a quick rundown here, and then certainly we'll entertain any questions that you may have. Okay. By the way, those of you that are guests with us tonight, if you think about it, take time to sign in, and we do have some refreshments over here tonight, thanks to Miss Kimbrough. Okay. All right, so moving down here, a few things to keep in mind. So we're looking at comparisons basically from last year to this year, which is helpful. We have to go off the tax year of 2021. We're doing our levy here, November, December, collectible basically next fall. Okay. All right. The estimated total EAV is here. Okay. Actual total EAV from last year is here, so you can see the increase. Estimated EAV percent change for 2022. We're looking at 2.20. Okay. It could be up to 3%. Again, these are just estimates based on information that we get from the Vermilion County assessor. Estimated new property. This is the big change right here. Okay. That 3.4 million, you know, in the past it's been just over $1 million. That's factoring in basically the whole TIF situation. Okay, so we've allocated for that as we put together this particular levy. All right. So as you can see, that brings forth the change. But even with that, it still keeps us below the nickel levy. All right. On the left side here of this summary sheet that I put together for you, these are the different funds that you heard me talk about earlier. These are the statutory maximum tax rates. In Illinois, okay, we have a situation not being tax capped where we are it's determined for us what tax rates that we use. We can't just tax a rate on a particular fund based on anything that we want or would like to have, okay? Those in black are basically determined by the state. So we just use those. Those are the max rates. Where things get different is in the red. These items right here, these ones are basically, you can ask in your levy based on what your need is, okay? So, and I'll get into that here in just a moment, all right? So like for IMRF, it's going to depend on what things are looking like in terms of your personnel that you have in your district for their retirement. You've got FICA, Social Security that we have to take care of. Tort immunity is probably the biggest one, okay? That's all of your liability, your assets, covering damages. It could be related to anything that in some way would create a liability hardship on a district that you're protecting, okay? Over here, this is a levy this year. Then you can see the extension, okay? So I'm going to talk about two terms as a reminder. One is you've got your budget, and then you have your levy. So based on your budget, then you move forward to see what in the future would be your levy. That is your ask, what you're asking for to take care of your finances for your school district. The extension is what you actually get from the county. So just because as a school district we ask for something doesn't mean that that's what we're going to get. It's all going to be determined by the county, okay? So you can see last year the extension was 2405 and 175, and this year it's a little bit more than that by $149,000 in our ed fund. That is our major operating fund for educating our kids. Okay, so the difference is $149,750. That's pretty reasonable given the 7 to 8% inflation that we're dealing with supplies, materials, and so forth. Operations and maintenance. Okay, last year we got an extension of 572, and we're asking for 608. Okay, so that's a difference of $35,000. Okay. IMRF, FICA, Social Security, you can see those numbers are exactly the same. So we have an opportunity where we could ask for more, but when we look at our budget, what our needs are going to be, and we look at our fund balances, we don't want our fund balance to get too high, so we're being responsible and good stewards. So what we're doing is we're basically this next year, the same exact amount that we're asking for is helping us to meet our needs. Okay. Transportation, you can see there's a difference of $11,000. Working cash, okay, that is basically $2,000, almost $3,000 more. Okay, so we're being very responsible there. Special education, we're running $2,376 more for an ask for next year. Tort immunity, okay, $5,100, a little bit more next year than what we have this year. That basically is accounting for the school guard safety program that we put in this year for all of our buildings. Okay, and that's what that cost was. As far as lease, that's our technology. Let's see here. Fire prevention and safety, we're running the same there. So you're seeing a very conservative and consistent ask of a levy. And I think that what happens in your finances is that I believe, my philosophy is that consistency compounds over time. Instead of things jumping up and dropping low, but your consistency usually compounds and does more for you. And I think it shows our public that we are being responsible with and being good stewards of the finances that we have. So this total aggregate here, basically, you can see this is the amount, okay, of the tax rate available. We kept it under 5%, okay, which is good. As far as our bonds go, that's information is laid out there. We've got 3 bonds on the books right now. We've had 2 for a long time. We took 1 in this past year to finish off the other 50% of the junior high wing. And so as we're paying that off through working cash, we do not have to include that in the total aggregate levy, which is good. And then at the end of the day, it just shows you how much basically what we're asking for this next year is $4,450,537. That's right about $200,000 more than what it was last year. Okay. So as far as the tax rates go, I talked about that earlier. But I like to do a little history. Just sometimes school board members may have some questions about what's this looked like in the past. Maybe you weren't on the board, or some of us weren't here at that point in time. But I think what you can see here is that the EAD since 2013 has consistently gone up. That's good for the community. That's good for schools. Okay. Tax rates that were extended, you can see those are all very consistent, especially in the last few years. So that's good. Our operating tax rate has stayed about the same, and our total aggregate as well. And then I've got over here the amount of money that was actually extended from the ask that we put forward to the clerk's office. So that is basically the rundown on the presentation for the tax levy. And I would be happy to try to entertain any questions as a school board or community that you may have. All I have, Ms. Ludwig.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, we'll move to adjourn this hearing. Roll call, please.
Need a motion and a second.
Oh, yeah.
Second.
Okay, motion by Janeski, seconded by Plattner to adjourn at 5:34 p.m. Hicks?
Yes.
Janeski?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
Ludwig?
Yes.
Plattner?
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 1.
Might as well just move on in.
If everybody's ready, and Beth is ready, we can move into the regular.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I'm ready. We're now going to move into our regular meeting, and may I have roll call, please?
Hicks?
Yes. Here.
Jeanette, I'm sorry.
Here.
Bradford is not present. Janeski?
Here.
Lynn?
Here.
Ludwig?
Here.
Plattner?
Here.
Smith?
Will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will introduce you to tonight. We're going to recognize our very, very successful soccer team and coaching staff. And I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Maynard.
Mr. Shelton, could you assist me here a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see what we have here tonight.
Absolutely. Tonight, we wanted to recognize the OSF soccer team on not only just a great season, but a record-breaking season. Several records were broken this year in their VVC and county championship, where they went undefeated in the conference, 12-0, outscoring their opponents in the conference 82 goals to 2 against. What an amazing season. Not only that, but we have some individual records that were also smashed as well this year. Matter of fact, the whole board, if you go into the East lobby, has to be rewrote because of this team and these kids on this team has to be completely rewrote. So what a fantastic season for these guys. So at this time, if I could have Coach Fenton, Coach Turner, and the OSF soccer team up here to accept the plaque.
You guys want to come on up here, please? Whoa.
Bottom. Yeah.
Good, very good. Come on in here, maybe some of you have thought. We're going to try to get a picture up here. Get the coaches up in here.
You don't need it at the front.
What would be good for you, Michelle?
I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna walk around to the front, might be able to stand here to get you guys. I'd walk around.
You have my
Walk be better. Yeah.
Watch this.
Circle around the
There's a
school board.
Everyone? I know. There you go, step 5. I know y'all can play soccer. I remember how Fenton was his exercise.
Keep scooting down, Brett, and get everybody in the photo there. There you go, that's good. That's good.
Probably got the sauces. So, these, just so you know, board meetings are a lot of fun. And they're never more fun than when we have students with us. You are why we do what we do. And tonight we've got student athletes, and I know we're representing OSF soccer team, you know, from Oakwood and Catlin. So if it's okay, I'd just like to read what's on this plaque for everyone. I know you've heard it before, but it's pretty special. Yeah. It says, on behalf of Oakwood High School administration, staff, and school board, we would like to honor the 2022 OSF soccer team for their amazing season and numerous accomplishments. The team, under the leadership of Coach Eric Benton and assistant coach Landon Turner, recorded a program record 20 wins in a single season. This team played fast, aggressive, and smart all season. Their schedule consisted of many talented programs, but OSF was up to the challenge, winning 8 non-conference games. Not only did OSF record a program record 20 wins this season, but they also recorded a record 127 goals in a single season. In VBC play, OSF outscored their opponents with 82 goals scored compared to 2 goals against, and went undefeated in the VBC with a record of 12-0. Congratulations on a great season, and Oakwood is proud of your accomplishments. Welcome. Captain or coach would like to receive this tonight? Great read. All right. Gil, can I shake your hand? You got a
Yes.
comment?
No, you're good.
I got a great grip, so.
That's
All
all right.
right. You go. Congratulations.
You're
Congratulations. Thanks for being here tonight. We appreciate it. Well done. Well done.
Before you guys go, I got a couple more things. I want to take a picture of all of you guys here. Must get more words and I'll let you go. Here you go, guys. Smile. 2, 1. All right. Very good. All right. Let's take a couple more things. I think it's important when we have a team that's this successful to make sure that we recognize not only those team accomplishments, but also individual accomplishments. So bear with me as I say a couple more awesome and fantastic things about this group. Okay. So it's important to know that out here, Reeve Paycott, Grant Powell, Josh Ruck, and Brody Tafflinger were voted first team all VBC. Jacob Pricer, Ty Smoot, and Zane Trimmel were voted second team VBC. And Mason Phillips was honorable mention as well for the conference. In county, we had a lot more kids recognized there too. Reeve Paycott, Grant Powell, Jacob Pricer, Josh Ruck, Brody Tafflinger, and Zane Trimmel all were first team in the county. Special mention was Ty Smoot, and honorable mention was Jacob Tafflinger. So that, by the way, that's a lot of kids to be on the VBC and county teams. I also provided the board here with the VBC and county, and you can see that we're just littered on there. There's OSF everywhere, and that's what's amazing about this season. So you guys did a great job with that. We also had one player on this team that was also News Gazette first team. That's Grant Powell. Good job, Grant, and that accomplishment. And we had 2 players that were recognized honorable mention News Gazette. That's Reeve Paycott and Josh Rupp. Congratulations to you 3 on being nominated to the News Gazette team. Also during this season, Grant Powell was nominated as WCIA Player of the Week on September the 8th. And then also he was selected to the IHSSCA All-Sectional Team. And then Reeve Paycott up here as well. He was nominated as an honorable mention All-Sectional Team. So on the IHSSCA team. We mentioned some of the records for the teams that were broken at 20 wins and 127 goals. That's amazing. We have some individual standouts as well. Josh Ruck set the record for goalkeeping shutouts in a season with 17. And then career shutouts with 26. And goals against average in a season, that's 0.65. That's crazy, by the way. They play a lot of matches at the end of the season, and you're saying they're only going to score half a goal in every match. Great job, Josh. Great job. And then he also set the record for a career for goals against average in a career with 0.94. That's all the way through his entire career, less than a goal a game. That's amazing. That's amazing. Grant Powell also set the record for goals in a season. He scored 31 goals this season. by himself. And also he smashed the career record as well with 68 total goals in a career. And then assists in a season, 27 this year, 27 assists. And he set the record for career for assists with 58. That is quite an accomplishment. That's why we have to rewrite all the records now. So thanks to this team right here. And we already mentioned the goals and the wins. So I just want to say that it was awesome to see you guys play this year. And I'm so looking forward to seeing you guys play next year and defending that BBC and county championship. So good job, coaches. Good job, team. And thanks for being here tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job.
Oh, we got to, because I'm right out that door.
That's right. Hey, you guys are right there. I like that attitude song. There you go. Good job, Grant. Good job, team. Good job, coach.
Okay, celebration.
There you go, Ben.
I believe they got all that on their slide.
Okay.
Lot to read on the plaque. Should have got a bigger plaque for all that.
Okay, we'll move on now. And Mr. Odell, if you'd like to introduce the FFA
Yes,
students here tonight.
we invited the FFA leadership to come and tell us about the national convention. We have not been in about 3 years, maybe 4 years. So we have Ms. Avery Sandiford, who is our FFA advisor, and we also have Keely Glines and Katie Coffey, who both attended. If they would like to get up and just tell us a little bit about your experience at the national convention. Were you expecting that?
What, yeah,
Okay.
they know about it. They're good.
Well, it's hard to follow the soccer team, right?
I know.
I mean,
You guys got it.
you guys got it.
We when we went to the convention, there was shops and workshops that we could go to and like learn about like different like careers that we could do outside of high school. And we got to talk to a whole bunch of colleges if we were interested in it and get like information on how like try to get into colleges. The Army was there, so we got to talk to them. They have a bunch of virtual reality type things that we could do to see, like they had welding ones, they had heavy equipment that you could do. They had some Army things that you could like go through. They had like yeah, what is it? Yeah, they had all that stuff. There was the speakers, the sessions that we went to that they pointed out what the other FFA members had done, like in state.
So what was your favorite thing that you did there?
I talking to like the Army,
Okay,
Yeah.
learning
the workshops.
the workshops. Okay. So what did you do after the workshops and everything? Did you just go out and do anything fun?
They had like the FFA mall there, so we got to go shopping. We all went to buy cowboy hats.
Oh, cowboy hats. And it was a great trip, and it was great for their leadership. And thank you for Ms. Sandford for heading them out there and getting the first group off the ground after the pandemic. Is there anything else that you guys want to share? We're in a building mode. Thank you guys for coming. Okay.
Thank you for letting us go. I mean, I just really appreciate that more than anything. And for all the help from especially these three right here, always got my back, and the kids were great. They really were. Honestly, I'll say that. I haven't taught for very long. I've only taught in one other district, but the difference in the students here is night and day. I mean, they were respectful to me the whole time. Didn't really have to get on them for very much. Not anything abnormal. I mean, they were good. I trusted them. They stayed in the convention center. You guys have awesome kids here. So,
Were we appreciate you representing
Yeah.
our school district and our high school at the national convention. So thank you.
It was fun, right?
I hold FFA very dear to my heart. I have that jacket in my house framed, not mine, but my husband's. He always said being an FFA was like getting another degree because it's that important. And what you learn there is so important. He practiced that through his lifetime. And I'm just thrilled that you got to go and you got to bring something back from it. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go on to the consent agenda at this time. Great job. We can just keep this in the consent agenda, correct?
Correct.
Has everybody had an opportunity to look over the consent agenda? And if so, may I have a motion to
So
accept
moved.
it?
Second.
Motion by Janeski, seconded by Lynn to approve the consent agenda items submitted. Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Plattner.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote, Lynn.
We will go on to, have we had any requests? I guess one.
We did. We had one request on November 2nd, Smart Procure, and they had asked for some purchase order vendor information, and we responded and took care of that.
I'm moving on to 5, the Education Association. Do we have anything from that?
I don't believe that we do. We haven't met since before the last meeting, and I think Jesse's at breakfast and he didn't tell me anything. No. If y'all could just find some stuff somewhere and send them all our ways, that would be great. But other than that, I don't know that I have it.
Thank you. Okay, and then we'll move on to any board committee reports.
We don't really have a full committee report, but I did want to mention that the Finance Committee was involved in the hiring of the high school principal and the salary that we were working on there. So I know that Mr. Smith talked to Mr. Lynn, I believe, Mr. Plattner, and I had a few conversations. I don't think I got the privilege of talking to Mr. Lynn, but everyone collaborated and had a part of that process. So I appreciate the work of that committee.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to the administration reports, and we'll start with curriculum and Mrs. Kimbrough.
I guess the big thing that has come out is a third digital equity grant, which we were only supposed to get one, and then we got 2. And so now we have a third one, and the third one is quite a bit more. It's $103,000 that we just found out. Very picky about what you can spend that on. And we spent it on hotspots and some of the wiring, communications part of it, some Chromebooks. So we are going to meet on Monday. Chris getting his angle from it, John getting his angle from it, Larry and I, we're going to sit down, and we have some big ideas, and I think the worst they can do is say no. So we're going to go ahead and write that out that way. I amended ESER 2, working on ESER 3. We had a math meeting just to have some vertical alignment between 6th through 8th grade. Teachers are having some great ideas, so I'm working with teachers on different projects. One of the biggest things coming up is the Arconic grant, which we've already gotten $25,000 for. So we're trying to, Lisa and I, to get the STEM room. We've inventoried. We're trying to work with somebody from the ROE that can't get to us until December. But also it's partly for the STEM room, partly for science. So I sent out to teachers what they needed for their classrooms. And Sarah Huber had already done some research on some nice microscopes. So we're going to get those for her. And then, of course, Nicole Johnson had an idea for a bacteria lab that she was already to send me to go. So what the goal is in the spring, have the STEM room up and going, And then to have every science classroom, K through 8, to do some kind of hands-on engaging activity, and the grant would pay for the materials for that. So we're working on getting those on the spreadsheet and get everything ordered. I want everything ordered by December, so.
It's excellent.
Thank you. Mr. Odom, high school.
Yes, I just want to point out a couple of things on the board report I submitted. We have 150 students that were on the honor roll this first quarter. We only have 288 enrolled as far as their 6-day enrollment. So that is a large number of students that are succeeding, and we're very happy with that. The other thing I wanted to highlight is that the Vermilion County basketball tournament is moving from the Palmer Arena to DAC. And that's a big change for the community and for everybody. So if you hear that, I just wanted to highlight that for you. We had a long run there at the Palmer Center, but Danville Area College is doing a lot of fantastic things for us. I don't know if Mr. Shelton is going to talk about the media day that we just had, but that was outstanding. What they did is they came out and they did some videos and some still photographs, so that on their big screen there at DAC during the tournament, our athletes are going to be highlighted on the big screen, just like you see at the U of I. And our kids had a blast doing that yesterday. And Mr. Sheldon and I got out there and watched, and it was a lot of fun. But they also are doing some things like catering our hospitality suite from their culinary classes. So a lot of the DAC students, and some of them are students that we have out there, are actually kind of hosting and highlighting the BBC tournament. So we're expecting big things out there, but you know how it is when you've had something at one place for a long time, you're going to hear some grumblings about the move. But I wanted to let you know there's a lot of positives coming out of that, and we're really looking forward to getting out there and maybe starting a new tradition as far as being with DAC. I think DAC really wants us there because they see the opportunity for more of our students to see the campus and be out there and see the environment. So I just wanted to highlight that. And then the other thing was graduation is May 21st at 1 p.m. And the reason I wanted to highlight that is because we are already starting with graduation orders, like announcements and things like that. And normally the board has to approve the graduation ceremony, from what I understand. It is on our calendar that is approved by the board. So I don't know how that all works, but I just wanted to highlight that because our students are already starting to order their graduation announcements and graduation attire. And that was last night from 3 to 6. They had a parents' night at the high school. They can also order things online. So I wanted to highlight that so that you knew. And then the last thing was is December 9th is our band. Well, I don't want to say last. Let me go back to December 7th. Is our senior citizens dinner that we always have on December 7th in the afternoon. Where seniors, and we've already got seniors that are reserved spot to come in and eat. We're planning on having the band play some Christmas music, and it's always a good time. And the senior citizens, which I am one now, really enjoy coming in, and we enjoy having them. And it's a big day for the students after we have an early dismissal that day, and then the afternoon we have them in there. And then the other thing is December 9th is our band and chorus concert at 7 p.m. at the high school. That's on December 9th. And again, the radio station, I can't remember the station. Sorry. But they come out and they record that, and then they play it later on multiple times through the Christmas season. So
I think that's WDAN.
I think it is, yeah. WDAN. I think you're right. But they're planning on coming out on the 9th, recording the concert, and then our students will be highlighted on the radio for that. So, and that is all I have, unless you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Shelton?
Okay, so on my board packet, I also gave you guys a manila folder that has a lot of information in there, including our upcoming winter schedules for all of our winter sports, as well as all of our Thanksgiving tournaments that we are included in. So that way you guys have a copy of that. Love to see you guys out there and supporting the kids, but that's just for your information there. So I'll start with cross country. They were our last activity to finish up here in the fall, and they had a fantastic season. The boys qualified as a team for sectional, and we had one girl that qualified for the state meet, and Macy Russell has back-to-back years that she's made it there. And I was there that day in Peoria and watched it under horrible conditions. She still managed to run a 20:02, and I was amazed because it was bad conditions there that day. But anyhow, it's an amazing event, by the way, if you've never been to watch 300, 400 kids run down a hill all at the same time. It's pretty awesome event. So anyway, but really proud of the cross country team. They did a great job this season. Look forward to see what they're going to do next year. They did have their banquet as well, so they wrapped their season up, and so that wraps fall up. Included in your packet, I also gave you guys the rundown of the BBC and VC selections for volleyball, as well as football, and I believe there's even volleyball in there too. So you have all of those from the fall, including our athletes, which have been posted and recognized as well on Facebook and Twitter as well here in the last week. So, okay, moving on to winter sports. And girls basketball, they started 2 weeks ago. They just had their first game this past Monday night against our goal at home. Unfortunately, they've got a loss there, but they're practicing hard this week, and they're ready to get going for this weekend's Comet Classic, which we host. And they'll play at 4 p.m. against Westville in their first game. And look forward to having all the teams coming in for that this weekend, and then all next week. But they're also going to be at BHRA for the Christmas tournament as well later on in the year. For boys basketball, they started this past Monday, the 7th. They have their first game on the 21st at the Tri-County tournament. It's Villa Grove at 5 p.m. And then they're also, their boys schedule is not ideal because they're in 2 back-to-back tournaments, which means it's hard to find a home game early in the season. So our boys will not play until January for the first home game. After that, we'll have several home games. But unfortunately, due to us wanting to play 2 Thanksgiving tournaments, then having one at Monticello at Christmas, it's really hard to find a home game there. But so we won't play until January for our first home game. That's the boys. They have 27 boys basketball players out, and the fresh off team, we boosted their schedule a little bit. They're going to play in some tournaments a little further south and try to get some good experience. We're going to be a really good All-Only tournament here on the 14th of January in the winter. So looking forward to seeing them play a couple more games as well this season. That's the boys basketball team. Wrestling has 28 kids between Oakwood and Southborough. You go in there and it's so tight in that facility. And Coach Gloss, it's a good problem to have. We want them in here. We're going to train them. Whoever comes in, we're going to train them. But at the end of the day, it is a lot of kids in a tight space. But man, they had an amazing year last year, sending 4 kids to state. And I think that's the plan, if not more than that, this year. So I know they're off to an amazing start, and I can't wait to see what this season holds for us. So, but yeah, they have 28 kids, and we beefed their schedule up as well. So we are taking on the defending state champions in Yorkville Christian. We'll be going up to Chicago this year to play them. Or to wrestle them. So looking forward to that. Also, we have moved to a county tournament. County and BBC will be all one day, and we volunteered to host that, the very first one. So that will be on January the 6th at OHS, and we're going to host that. So I'm very pleased to be able to be the first ones to host it. Next is dance. We have 3 girls out for the dance team. That's what we had in the fall. We had 3, so now we have 4 again here in the winter. Cheer has 14 girls out for theirs. I also included their competitive cheer schedule in your packets as well, so you can see where they're going to go this year as well. And speaking of cheer, and as Mr. Odell will talk about the county tournament, that has moved. I know it's been a tradition with the cheerleading competition on that last Saturday. That's now been moved up to the first Saturday. And
It used to be that way.
What's that?
It used to be that way.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought it was always on that Saturday. There you go. I just learned something too. So anyhow, but now that
I'm old, remember?
No, I didn't say that. Anyhow,
And just to piggyback on top of that, one of the reasons we had to move it was because of the line of the
Right.
state cheerleading
That's what I was
competition.
Oh.
That's what I was telling
There was a conflict there, so we had to move it. And so hopefully we don't have to keep jockeying it back and forth. But with that facility, it's a lot easier for us to make the adjustment. So
Yeah, currently we have 3 teams in the conference that do competitive cheer that could qualify for the ICCA you know, and that would be on the same Saturday. That's why that had to get moved. So anyhow, we don't know if there'll be future teams as well that want to be competitive as well in the county. So that's why that was moved. So that'll be on the 14th at that. Next thing is that the records, we're updating that right now. We just pulled the banners down from the gym, so we use updating of that. I mentioned earlier that we had to update some of those the plaques on the wall in the East Lobby. That is, I'm underdoing that right now. I'm moving on to that. So hopefully by December, when you walk in the gym, you'll see some new updated records in the East Lobby, as well as the banners that need to be updated, some from football and some from soccer, obviously, and some baseball ones too. So you'll see some new records on the wall and in the gym. So that's our records. Next is I wanted to discuss with the board, to let you guys know some ongoing topics and conversations with the Booster Club. The Booster Club, they're having a difficult time finding people in the community to help and serve, not just be officers, but also help out. And so we've had a shifting from last school year to this school year in new officers. And in that, they're trying to find their way, trying to figure out how they're going to, sustain. But right now, currently the budget is a little under $13,000. So right now we have more money that's going out than coming in. And so I know they're working on trying to address that. They've even talked about possible restructuring of the Booster Club. I know that we're having our next meeting on December the 7th, and that will be discussed more as well. We'd also like more coaching participation. I've vocalized that to our coaches. We'd like them there. We'd like their feedback, we'd like their input, but we need them to be involved. We need the community to be involved if we're going to be successful, especially to help with some of the things that we need as far as the high school athletics are concerned. So anyhow, I just wanted to update you on that. We're having a meeting on December the 7th and go from there. And then the last thing, speaking of that, is soccer scoreboard. I mentioned it to you the last board meeting that we have been looking into that. I didn't have all the numbers at that time and all the quotes. I have now since had all those. I've given that to you in your packet as well. I have 3 quotes from 3 very reputable companies. One being in Danville, which is Watchfire, the other in Nevco, and then the other one is Daktronics. Those are the 3 leading scoreboard makers in our area. And also I've got you quotes here as well on installation from those 3 companies as well. And then our electrical quote that would go along with that. I've worked pretty extensively on this, trying to get these numbers down. And also, I did feel like after I mentioned the last time, we're the only school in the BBC that does not have a scoreboard. And as you can tell, we are one of the most successful teams, not just in the conference, but also Central Illinois is no longer a secret. We're good. And our parents are starting to, hey, what about us? What about not football? What about us? And I'm like, I hear you, but we need to see what we can do. And that's why I'm coming to you now with the quotes to see if a soccer scoreboard is something that's feasible for us to get. Because I know that it was in the works pre-COVID and it kind of got put on the back burner. And now I'd like to, kind of reinitiate those conversations about possibly getting that out there for them. So I'd like to hear any thoughts that the board might have on the quotes for schools. Anything else you'd like me to provide for you additionally?
As this goes, what we're looking at right here is like $26,000.
Correct.
Because you got to add them all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can tell you that Watchfire, who is a local business, they have that quote. That quote is 15% off of what they gave us a massive discount on that quote. So and I know a couple of years ago at my previous school, I worked 2 schools for baseball and softball, and these prices are even higher than that. And the longer you wait, the more that price is going to go up. So, especially in today's economy.
The warranty on me.
What's that?
The warranty.
That, by the way, you should have gotten the email that I sent with you with all the details.
Yeah.
That's all in that. So for every one of the quotes.
In fact, there was pretty much too much information, but
Sorry.
I did go
thorough.
I did go through it, but
Yeah.
what I was looking at even in the pictures is the way to make this thing work would be to sell advertisement.
Correct.
So at this price, you would have to pay more to get somebody an advertisement square, right?
Yep.
Was there in that quote that you could add a panel for?
Yes.
And I'm thinking it was less than $1,000 to add a panel.
Yeah. So if you look on there on the installation quote that I have in front of you there too, there is a truss with a logo and then installation of ad panel $600. So we would add that on there as part of that, and then we would sell that here, and then hopefully go towards that. I know currently right now that the high school gym, the boards in there, Diamond Brothers, and some other, I think maybe the other two, Hancock Insurance. I believe it might be you guys. Yeah. So I know that that's a 10-year. They can not, we have to wait 2 more school years before that runs up before we can. So it'd be the same thing here. I'd be looking to do the same thing as well, if that's what you guys wanted to consider
And
as well.
just a question, what kind of money is a 10-year thing on the scoreboard?
That's a great question. That's something that the unit office has. And I know Shannon Wallace here in the office has got something she
Okay.
Diamond
provide that
Brothers,
for me as well.
Diamond Brothers paid for most of that.
Yeah, and speaking of Diamond Brothers, I also have a donation form request already filled out to them. I'm waiting to hear back from them as well to see if they'd like to also be involved in that. So I've not received that back from Diamond
That's
Brothers. Yeah, as far as how much they'd be
So
willing to
that's
donate.
what that's there.
Years ago, if you used Pepsi or you used only Pepsi or
Yeah.
only Coke,
Yep.
they did your scoreboard.
Yeah.
That's long gone, huh?
No, it's not. I know 2 years ago, that's how I got into it. That was, we have a contract through a soda company and they helped pay for those boards.
Okay.
Yep. That
So,
was 2 years ago.
and it's favorable that we'd want to do that, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So what I'm doing for you now is providing you the numbers that would take to get it done. And then any thoughts or suggestions that you guys have for me to move forward.
Okay.
It's one of the things that we looked at when we were discussing this, is to try to dig through our records to see, do we currently have a contract with a vendor?
Yes.
And because if we did, obviously we would have to honor that. And we have come up with nothing anywhere in the district as far as a vendor contract like such as Coca-Cola or Pepsi.
One time it was Pepsi.
Was it?
Years and years ago.
Yeah. The vendor contract used to be in the high school office.
Okay.
Yes, so that would be the last vendor contract.
Well, I went through there and I could not find the
Talk to Mr. Lee, that might be something.
Pepsi Cola contract. I know that was one of the contractors because we still have their machine when it's never been changed. But we haven't been able to actually find the contract on that. So,
But it was for a limited amount of time,
Right.
so, and I can't remember how long it was for, but, they used to give us a lot of things. And then when we had a new contract, they weren't giving,
no.
they were not as giving anymore.
Yes.
And that's gonna have options in the school now everywhere.
Right,
Just check
Well,
out
yeah.
teachers lounge. We only got 2, it's just that which one of teachers.
We can have soda in there, but it has to be diet.
mhm.
And so the only soda machine right now in the high school is right there when you come in the main lobby, right by the office. And that's, students can go down there during lunch and get a diet soda, but that's all that's in there.
Mhm.
And the one that we had in the teacher's lounge, to make space for another refrigerator so that we'd have more refrigerator space for the teachers for their lunches and things like that, that was removed this summer. So we have no Pepsi machine in the teacher's lounge. So.
Any questions for Mr. Shelton?
I want to piggyback off, well, not on the school board anymore, but I want to talk about the DAC Media Day. I was there, I was present, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to echo that. That was amazing. So it was not just still shots, it was live action. And our kids came in, they were a little shy about it. They were nothing like that before, but man, they really warmed up. It's probably the single best day I've had at Oakwood since I've been here. Seeing the kids come out of their shell and interact with one another and choreograph things and be on the board. And you really saw, that was awesome. So I think we need more days like that, but that was awesome. So, yeah, I can't wait to see the county tournament and see those kids on the scoreboard and their parents to see that too. It's gonna be awesome. So that's all I want to say. I'm done. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
We'll move on and let's see, Mrs. Burton couldn't be here and Mrs. Ackman, you're
By
up.
myself, because the partners are both sick here. So in my information that I shared with you, as you know, we have school on Veterans Day. So Ms. Lepenis and I both took the opportunity to go visit the classrooms and to see the different projects and programs that the students participated in that day. I went into Mrs. Mullendorf's classroom. It was absolutely amazing. The students had brought in memorabilia from servicemen and women who had served in their family and then had read a report. And this was first graders doing that. So it was really powerful. The music that day, Summer did a really nice job in the music room doing different songs that went with Veterans Day. But all throughout the building, there were definitely curriculum based around Veterans Day. So I shared some pictures with you of that. The next thing I shared is basketball. As you know, Mr. Lee is coaching our 5th and 6th grade team, as well as the 7th and 8th grade team, and he's still standing and is doing a great job. I can't say enough about Parker Lee. He is absolutely wonderful, not only in the coaching piece, but also in our PE department. He and Mr. Glosser make each day wonderful for our students. We're going to share more about it later, but Mr. Lee, we have the bounce houses for the PTO program, the buyout bash, and Mr. Lee took a student who is unable to bounce in the houses due to a disability, and he made it able to where he could bounce with Mr. Lee. And we caught some pictures of that, and it was, talk about emotional moment. It was wonderful. So he is fabulous. So I couldn't say enough about him, and he's doing a wonderful job with the basketball program. I shared with you our schedule, but we have actually added 3 more games to it. We are playing more games right now at other schools just because with sharing the gym, we all have to be very flexible right now. But we have scheduled about 10 games for our boys this year. So it's working out well, and we have 20 players between 5th and 6th grade. Carla Adams, who coaches volleyball, has approached me about doing something for 5th and 6th grade girls for volleyball. I felt like we were a little too late in the year because we would have had to register with IESA. So we're trying to come up with some creative solutions, and she's going to use the high school volleyball athletes and run a camp for possibly 4th, 5th, and 6th grade girls to introduce them to the program. So we're tentatively looking at March once the junior high school season kind of wrapped up, and then offer that program. So I think it will be a great way to build the volleyball program at Oakwood as well. So that is in the works. We have an angel tree at the Oakwood Public Library. We had 31 names, and they are all been taken, but it's not too late to still donate to our toy drive too. So you'll see some information about that coming out soon. I need to give a great shout out to Mrs. Hale and our book fair. It was wonderful. We had a lot of private donations, and almost every single kid, I believe, walked away with at least 1 book, if not more than 1 book. So it was very successful. Kid account is, they've really helped us with our dismissal. We're running about 12 to 15 minutes in our car rider line at the most. So that has helped a lot. Cards are going home and have gone home. Some classes received their cards today. So our official rollout with the cards will be December the 1st. So I anticipate maybe a little more time shaved off, but more importantly, more school safety for our students. So that has worked well. And then the last thing is, later on tonight, there will be a recommendation to approve Scott Heatherton for a long-term sub position. Mr. Heatherton has been wonderful for our building. This week, our staff collected money and gave him 2 Oakwood shirts, and he was thrilled. Like, he loves being a part of our school, and he is wonderful. And every day those kids are so thankful to see him. So I'm really excited that he'll be in our building more with maternity leave. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Richardson?
I have 2 things really tonight. Like Michelle said, we'll be working on that digital equity grant. There's I've got a few network switches in my closet that I'd like to replace that can be used for that. They're about 8 years old, so you're coming up on it and anything, that would be great. The other thing was Comcast has finished the fiber line run to the grade school. So, within the next few days, I will be configuring everything and getting it ready to go. So we'll have, fiber service at both the grade school, junior high complex, and the high school. So we're looking in really good shape for that. And that, of course, was all paid through the E-rate consortium through the state of Illinois. So we're gonna have no internet bill for the next 4 years. So fantastic.
What kind of savings is that?
So at the high school, we were paid $1,100 a month. At the grade school, since it was a little lower speed, it was $900 a month. So about 2,000.
That's nice. That's good. Very good.
That's all.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Siddons?
Yes, I've got several things here tonight. Number one, I've been still in contact with Amoresco on getting our sidewalk put out to the playground. Also talked to Dennis at the city about the crosswalks, how they approach theirs, what's legal, what's not. So he gave me some information to go about looking at that. And in the process, we're going to have to, with it being handicapped, we're looking at cutting part of the sidewalk at the exit there on the back to make it more wheelchair accessible so the kids can walk down the sidewalk instead of going out in the parking lot, get what they're doing. So been working with them on that. They're still hoping to get it in the sidewalk yet this year. I don't know if the painting is going to be able to go in with the weather, but it's kind of hard to put the painting in when we don't exactly know how it's all going to be laid out. We do know what we want, but to make it work, we want to make sure it's right before we just start doing it. So we've been working on that. I met with Mr. Stalker with the high school gym floor last week. And Larry and I have been in contact with him, talked to him. He's going to give us some options, Larry and I, some options of what we need to do or what he's thinking with that floor buckling the way it's doing. So we're working on that. I think maybe this weekend or next weekend, I think he might be in more contact with Larry over that. So we're working on that. Been working with Michelle on several projects, trying to figure out some things with her. So she's keeping Chris and I pretty busy at times. So that's a full-time job too. Also in your agenda, we've moved the custodians around. We hired, with the board approval tonight, we've got a good one for the junior high part-time position. He was my sub. Does very well. Looking forward to having him at the junior high if approval. But I am looking for a sub. So if you know anybody in town that's looking for pick up something here and there, send them our way. It's just like teachers, you know, trying to find somebody. Also talked about the old junior high building a little bit this week. So we had a water leak up there. Had to have the well guys come in, dig it up. We had a leak in the yard. They also said that there could be some possible other leaks because the line from the well into the building is pretty rotted from the way they cut it out and replaced. So, but we've got to have that water for the boiler. We can't really control too much of the boiler because I go up there daily, check the building, and there's some rooms hotter than other rooms. There's steam. Some of the steam lines are getting old. So we're looking at trying to keep that running. Larry and I have been talking. But it's a daily chore. Usually there's something to do up there every day. So it's not just a trip up to check. It's something may have gone wrong. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that. That there's, you know, between the boiler, and we really can't shut the water systems down either because we've got kids up there. So we're still having to do all the testing for the sewer, the water. So there's some expense there that we just can't get rid of yet. So I just wanted to let you know that there is some repairs maybe gonna have to come up, so we want to keep you informed on that. So just wanted to give you a little bit of detail of what's going on.
The kids up there, what, mainly cheerleaders?
Well, there's been some basketball, junior high basketball going up there. Understanding, I think volleyball is gonna have to do some practicing up there.
Yeah, 'cause
Where the gym schedules are.
It was my understanding that the mats were all down and you couldn't use it except for cheering.
The basketball teams are rolling them up so they can have somewhere to practice, because the gym schedule right now with the girls going, the boys going and everything. So there's been some basketball going on up there, and I think volleyball, junior high volleyball, going to start practicing up there until gyms at the grade schools in there a little bit. So I think Lisa and Ann and everybody's trying to get it all worked out, but it's been a headache.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
was.
it's not. So I think Lisa is doing a very good job trying to get everybody where we need to get them. But yeah, they are doing some other practicing besides just.
Okay, good.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay. Geez, Amanda.
Okay,
All you.
Ludwig, thank you. First of all, I just want to mention this past week, we all know we had Veterans Day. I think we may have a veteran in the room. I'm not sure, but just in case, I want to say thank you for your service. Appreciate that very much. Veterans Day is a special day. And also, I want to make mention that yesterday, you probably saw some information from me and some social media stuff putting out about it's School Board Members Day yesterday. So an opportunity for some of the greatest volunteers in communities to come together in school districts across Illinois to do the work of school and the school business for kids. So as superintendent, you saw my notes in the report. Hopefully it was a little bit personal, and I just wanted to say thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to work with you and to serve you here in the school district. So thank you very much for all that you do. You'll probably notice too, just as a reminder with that, Mr. Janeski and I will be heading up to Chicago Friday through the weekend for the joint annual conference there. So we'll be jumping into some workshops and things, and come back in December and report on anything that we may have learned or may have had value, or something we learned what not to do. Sometimes that helps too, sometimes. So we'll be up there for that. Moving along, I just wanted to highlight just a few things and then see what questions you have for me. You saw construction updates there. County facility sales tax, that's going to be coming back around. Discussion again on December the 5th with the Maine County superintendents, except for Danville High. And it seems like everyone is in favor of putting this on the ballot again. Maybe not doing a big campaign, obviously, but to put it out there and let the voters determine. And I think the reason being is that obviously it would add value to our school districts and communities. For Oakwood, it could be as much as $450,000. And that would be a way for us to, knock off some of our bond debt, and at the same time still put some money towards capital projects. So we could do both. That would help our community in a couple different ways. So that being said, I'd like for us to consider in December, I think all the county schools are looking at December passing a resolution that we've done before several times as a school board to say that we're willing to put that out on the ballot. And this is our intended use for that money, which is what I just shared with you. So I'll have that written up and prepared. It'll be the same one in all the other county school districts around, except for Danville High, and they're in District 118. And I'll bring that to you, and you can decide whether or not you want to put that on the ballot or not. One of the things that I often say is that, as a community in Vermilion County, you're already paying a sales tax when we go to Champaign and do some business. So it's just the difference is that all that money is going to those school districts, and we're not receiving any of it. And I get those reports because we have a little piece of property in Champaign. So I get the benefit of seeing what all these other school districts are getting. And I just save that, and I keep looking at that every month. It's a substantial amount of money, and it's based on attendance. So whatever pool comes into the bucket as far as the sales tax as it gets dispersed, It's based on your enrollment at your school district as far as what percentage you get. So even though 118 will not support it for their reasons, they would still benefit from it if it passed. And they have approximately 42% of the enrollment in Vermilion County. That means if the surrounding county schools all passed it in their communities, this would happen. This would happen. So just kind of want to give you a little brief synopsis on that moving forward. So I'll bring forth a resolution for you to consider in December. Okay?
I think
Yes, sir.
the tax vary.
I'm sorry.
Does it have to be 1 cent, or can the tax vary 1%?
Well, it's been, the penny is what the communities of superintendents are basically talking about. It's still the 1 penny. It doesn't have to be a penny.
That's how I thought
It
you
could
could.
be less.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
Would that be more enticing to the voters?
Yeah.
0.5%.
And anything would help, right? So,
Yeah, I don't know how to, I mean, that's your hurdle, is to get the voters to.
sure. When I go to
To
the,
you?
Huh?
Would that make a difference to you?
I don't buy anything, so
yeah,
I
I'd have to
think,
ask my
I think
wife.
the
It wouldn't make a
message is
difference to me.
to get out, and I think we tried to do a good job of that last time, is what is being taxed, because it's, I call it a sin tax, is what it's like
Yeah.
a sin tax, because your food isn't, your medicine isn't, none of that's going to be affected by this at all. And I think if you can get that word across to people,
Yeah.
you're gonna buy groceries, you're not gonna pay anymore.
Yeah.
So.
yeah, we'll get some information out. I've done a brochure in the past, and I'll get some more information together after that December 5th meeting. And you'll have it at the December board meeting on the 14th. And go from there. I will bring up Mr. Janeski at our superintendent's meeting on the 5th as well. Is there any
And
consideration?
I don't know, man, I mean, the
0.5%.
difference to people, I mean, 0.5% and 1%, I just
Yeah,
wondered if that would be,
yeah,
you'd have more people would be willing to do that.
sure. Yeah, we got to look at all options because obviously it's been put forth many times and it's not yet traveled. So I appreciate this suggestion. School facilities, I am continuing to research and network with some vendors on facility options moving forward, or in particular the high school with indoor and outdoor facilities for extracurriculars, what that looks like, and getting diagrams and so forth. I'm also continuing to network as far as land that may be available in the area and continue to have some conversations. I do have a meeting scheduled coming up in the next month with an individual. We did have appraisals done, as you saw, on the Newtown facility as well as this facility. So if you have questions about that, let me know. That'll be something that as a board, obviously you'll have discussion about in the future about how you want to proceed. In terms of school finance, the levy has been before you. Digital equity you heard about. Audit report. I do have Russ Lee stop by, and he did give us our audit booklets over there. So if you want a copy of the book, you can take one of those tonight. And it's over on the table there. It's basically our annual financial report. And also next month, Sarah Bocek will be here. I know, Brenda, you had been in some meetings with myself, and she was here.
Yes.
Helping us do some things. So she's asked if she could come and present to our school board as another legal firm opportunity other than we're currently with Miller, Tracy, Braun, and have been. And, happy with that. But she asked if she could come and present. I said, by all means, you're welcome to come and talk to our school board, and we'll go from there. We usually determine our vendors, such as district attorney and auditors. We usually do that in the spring when we have our new school board members come on. So I wanted to make you aware of that for December. School report cards, great news. Oakwood schools received commendable rating again this year. Moving forward with that. So we been able to sustain ourselves academically as a school district, thanks to our staff, thanks to Ms. Kimbrough and the resources that the school board allows us to allocate for our kids, to sustain ourselves coming out of the COVID situation. So we're thankful for that. So other than that, I think that pretty much covers everything I wanted to highlight. And if there's any questions you have on my report or anything else, I'll be happy to try to address that for you.
Any questions? No.
Okay, thank you.
Moving on, old business. Is there any old business discussion that we need? And any reason for a closed session? None at all. So, and we will move on to consideration and action items. And on the action items of hiring, it's contingent upon the successful completion of background checks. First of all, we would need to approve the levy, right?
Yes,
That's the
ma'am.
first thing we need to do. So I need a motion.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Janeski to approve the 2022 tax levy as presented. Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Plattner,
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 2.
Okay, moving on to the next item. Is there anything you'd like to say, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, I would. Thank you. So the next item B has to pertains to our high school principal position. And thankfully, there are approximately 6 school districts in the area that are looking for high school principals right now. And we got out of the gate pretty early and had an opportunity to put together an interview committee. I know Ms. Kimbrough was on that, and Mr. Shelton was a part of that as well. And so, as you know, we went through the process. We brought a recommendation to the board. The board had an opportunity to interview the candidate as well. So we're very excited to make a recommendation for Aaron Smith as our next high school principal, beginning with the 23-24 school year. Her duties would start on July 1st. So I know that she's very excited. She's disappointed she was not able to be here tonight. She wanted to be, but she had a class that she had to be at tonight. So I will communicate with her tomorrow. So that's a recommendation we have for you tonight, and the salary being $94,000 plus district benefits.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a motion to hire Aaron Smith as the high school principal for the 2023-24 school year, beginning on July 1st, 2023, at the base salary of $94,000 plus district benefits.
So moved.
Second.
A copy.
Motion by Plattner, seconded by Hicks to approve the employment of Aaron Smith as presented. Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Plattner.
Yeah.
Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 3.
Okay, moving on to item D, and this is a recommendation to approve the employment of John Mackey to fill the vacancy for Oakwood Junior High School part-time PM custodian position pending board approval. Mr. Mackey will be on step 1 at $16.35 per hour. And Mr. Sims, would you like to comment?
Or did you want to go? We skipped Erica.
What did I do?
Want to come back to Erica, or go ahead and do Erica for a minute?
Oh, did I move?
C.
We skipped
Oh,
that.
I skipped C, didn't
That's
I?
okay.
Okay, we'll come back.
Whatever you want us to do, C first or come back to it?
C. We better do C first.
Okay, do C first.
We'll-
Okay.
yeah, we'll come
This
back.
is Oakwood Grade School. Recommendation to approve the employment of Erica Bovois for the position of secretary at Oakwood Grade School for the 23-24 school year. Erica will train for 2 weeks in May and 2 weeks in June at the rate of $14.17 per hour. Her regular calendar schedule will begin in July at the rate of $15.03 per hour. And
Erica has some experience. She has not worked in a school setting, but volunteers at her children's school and then has worked in a business setting. As you know, Amy Makowitz will be coming to the district office, so this will fill all that position.
okay, thank you. So can we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Plattner to approve the employment of Erica Boys as presented. Ludwig,
Yes.
Plattner,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski.
Yes.
Lynn.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 4.
Okay, now to D. I won't go through all that, but does anyone want to comment on John Mackey as far as?
John came to me several months ago as wanting to get his cancer from school. He's retired, looking for something to do. He come by the sub. Now he's saying he enjoys it, like to have more. So he came to me and wanted a 4-hour position. That's 4 hours. It's basically 20 hours a week. And it'll be for the junior high. And he does a very good job. And I wish I had more of him, but he is very good and I recommend him very highly.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so do we have a motion since I've read that once?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Janeski to approve the employment of John McKay as presented. Ludwig,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 5.
And Plattner,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Plattner.
Go ahead.
Yes, I got the part. I did there.
That's all right.
Okay. E, recommendation to approve the employment of Scott Heatherton as a long-term substitute teacher for the maternity leave of, is that Alyssa Montgomery? His rate of pay will be $197.30 per day.
Alyssa's due date was moved up. She will be leaving us next Tuesday. And Scott Everton is ready to come in. He's been shadowing her and we will meet them up.
Great, good to hear. I have a motion, please.
So moved.
Second. Sorry. Third.
Roll call, please.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Plattner to approve employment of Scott Heatherton as presented. Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski.
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Plattner.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 6.
Okay, is there any new business to discuss? Anyone? Okay, if not, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:39?
So moved.
Roll call, please.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Plattner to adjourn at 6:39 PM. Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Ludwig,
Yes.
Plattner,
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 7.
And our next meeting is on the 14th of December. So, right, let's make note of that.